One of the things we're going to go into, is the phishing attack program. I'm going to teach a little bit of it, get a good flavor of it. Again, I'm open. I'm going to leave my information towards the end as well too. And if you guys have any questions, reach out to me personally as well too. So I'm going to share my screen. We're going to walk into the phishing attack demo for today. So for today, we're going to give you a little bit of what you're going to be dealing with on a day-to-day basis at work. Like, this is what I do every day. I go through simulations of phishing attacks. I review them, and these are for different companies. You're talking, these are our clientele. You're talking about BMW, Disney, Coca-Cola. These big organizations come to us to find issues with their, not only phishing attacks, but how, like, legacy programs, every single thing with their entire technology stack. They come to us, they say, what can you do to find something new for us? Because we want to be the best. We don't want to have issues with breach issues as well too. Breach issues, a breach is when data is lost, information lost, very highly sensitive information. One of the things that phishing attacks does is it pulls data, and it could be used for many malicious things, right? You can use it for, they can use it for ransomware. If it's very sensitive data, they will hold it, and they will ask for X amount of dollars. They'll ask $40 million bounce for ransom for something that is very private, and companies will pay it. I've worked at organizations before where we've had to pay ransoms because they were not able to get that money back. I mean, that information back until they paid it. So phishing attacks. Out of the organization, there's 83% of organizations reporting experiencing phishing attacks. I would say that's higher now, to be honest with you. The clientele that we've had recently, phishing attacks, it's exactly how you get those spam emails, you get all those little things that look like the real thing, but not really, right? The Bank of America, I know everybody gets into this class. There's no way that you don't get it. Those texts from Bank of America, there's compromises, your Netflix account, those little nuances, right? You like the logos there, it looks the same. There's something fishy about it, right? And your gut feeling says, that doesn't look right. And you're right, it doesn't. There's something wrong with it. But the problem is, you might have that feeling, but your coworker might not. And they'll click on it anytime point on the time. That's what happens. They click on it, immediately the whole organization is affected. And that's what we do in RFPO, is we need to protect against that. We have to make sure that it's and it's an analogy that I hate. What's the best defense is your offense, right? You're always hunting. You guys, pen testers, penetration testers, pen test nights is another nickname for you. And it's gender neutral. It could be male or female. I'm going to put that out there right now. But your pen test nights, and that's your job, is to guard your organization. Ultimately, that not only the organization you work for, overall in this industry, is that it touches upon you day to day. I had a breach happen to me 2 years ago. And because of that breach, my information is on the dark web. I was able to use my skill set to pull my information back from the dark web. You don't want your social security number on the dark web, guys. You don't want that. That was me. So anyway, 15 billion spam emails make their way across the internet every day. What a ton of it. Last year, roughly 214,345 unique phishing websites were identified. They do certain attacks that you click on that link, they send you an email, you click on that link, everything looks legit, goes to another link, false, like it might be like Nike.com, but it really isn't. It's just a good lookalike, and then you enter your credentials, they harvest your information right away. So on this other piece that we're going to talk about is 30% of phishing emails are open. That's a lot, to be honest with you. You say 30%, that's not too much. It is quite a ton. The only reason why we captured at 30 is that's the reported ones, right? In organizations, there's more than that on a day-to-day basis. We're not counting personal emails, whatever it may be. That's organizational. When people click on that email, that's reportable to their security team, and that's how they find out. That's not counting the other ones. So the percentage is much, much higher. 42% of workers report that they take dangerous actions while online. Yeah, they do. That's the thing. Within the tech industry and the tech culture, what you have is you have lax type of atmosphere, right? You show up to work. This is my work uniform in the video. This is it. Jeans, sneakers. You show up, and that's the thing too. It's like you have downloads, you have Spotify, you have all these nice little things to get them through their workday. But the thing is that who vets those out? Who makes sure those types of applications are allowed? They have single sign-on capabilities, that as a SAML, security assertion markup language, to make sure that they're safe. How do they integrate into our systems? What information is flowing through? Those are the questions. Like, I never asked that at the beginning before I got my certifications. I would like click and download. That's it. There's a lot of things that happen. The terms and conditions, how we commonly call T's and C's. You click on it, boom, that's it. You're bound by. You can't, if they lose your information, you're bound by their terms, meaning that they can do whatever. You lose your information out there on the dark web or anything like that, good luck to you. And that's the thing. It's like we need leaders like yourselves to be able to do that, not only on the professional side, but personal side too. You're educating people as you go through the process. Like, I talk to people. Like, I probably annoy them sometimes, but I talk to them and tell them, hey, think twice, read it carefully, look at how it's integrating. And they realize it. I teach my neighbors things like that, how to configure their firewall, how to look at some applications, how does it integrate? So this is an introduction to phishing. So phishing, cyber attacker tries to social engineering techniques, whatever it may be. They're looking to get you. They're contacting you. You have your email, you have your SMS, text messages. They're trying to get something out of you, credentials, banking information, something that they can use for malicious activities. And that's meaning they're after you financially. There's going to be, I'm going to tell you, at least 90% of the time, they're after you. Phishing attacks are designated, or their main cause is going to be within the industry, is looking for a financial target. They're looking for anything that can give them fast cash that they can siphon away from, not only you, but any organization. Common features of phishing emails: you have unusual senders, like things you don't recognize, right? It's just weird. Email addresses, it might look legit, but not. There's some certain off thing with it. You never know. You have attachments. Don't ever click on attachments from any emails you're not aware of. Those attachments are just waiting. There's malicious code buried in there. As soon as you click on it, it's executing on your computer. You're pretty much done. So sense of urgency, we've all been there. Like I was a attack victim where my last company, the CEO, they did a smishing attack, and the CEO was texting me like, hey, I need you to buy like 500 gift cards, use submit the use your credit, your payment card, your corporate card, and then send me the gift, information at the end. And in there, it's like your CEO. And you're just like, okay, no, come on, that doesn't even make sense. And then they'll follow up, and they'll follow up, and they're pushing you, pressuring. That's the same thing. It could be either through text or through an email, and they can mask it so well. It looks like it's coming from an executive, like CEO, CFO, and you're like, okay, do I do this or do I don't? You don't, basically, and you just make sure that as a leader in this particular field or going into this particular field, you don't do it, but somebody else will. And that's your job. to educate them and tell them, don't do this because of this. It's not, it's a coaching aspect. One of the things that I will teach you, and that's this particular program will teach you, is leadership is at every position. So what that means is that it doesn't matter if you're an analyst. I started my career as a junior analyst in the cybersecurity field. I was a junior analyst and I was leading teams because I took the opportunity to do so. It doesn't matter if you're a manager, analyst, junior analyst, security researcher, leadership begins at every level and within this particular field. So you're teaching people. It doesn't matter. And what's good about this field is that we're always sharing knowledge. It's a very open field. Hyperlinks. Never click on hyperlinks unless they're verified. Too good to be true. That's the gut feeling, right? You're thinking about it and you're like, too good. It's not going to happen. That happens. So some common phishing attacks. This is deceptive phishing. Recognize emails. You come in, there's compromises to it, right? Typically, these emails request you verified account information, re-enter information such as your logins, passwords, request that you make a change on your. That's where, like, about 95% of the time, our employees, not my company's employees, other employees, they will click on an email sent to them by their quote unquote IT department. That pushes them to a fake web page. That web page looks like what their organization do. They enter the credentials, done. They just harvested the employees' credentials. They use that, get into the system. They escalate their privileges to admin role, and they're in the system that quickly. It takes literally, if they're really good, minutes, literally minutes. Making a payment. Like, you got to make a payment right now. Those are types of deceptive phishing. Some techniques they use it, legitimate links, looks real, not really. There's some minuscule issue with that. Blend malicious and benign codes. Read it looks like the codes that is embedded in a particular software application, anything like that looks the same. It's not. It's the malicious code lives in there, and when it's pushed into a production environment or in another environment, they can execute remote execution of the code. Done. That's when it's infected. Redirect, shorten links, same thing. Going through different websites that looks like a similar, like a company page, retailer page, they capture information. Modifying brand logos. That Nike logo just looks a little bit off sometimes, as they say, and as they put in that email, right? Just like, Adidas that A looks a little bit tilted to the left kind of scenario. So again, those are things with scrutiny that you're going to be doing as a cybersecurity leader in this particular segment. Minimal email content. Too short means it's too good to be true. That's not going to happen. Too much, you're going to say, that's too flowery, and they're giving too much information. That's fake. But too short sometimes, like people in our society, remember that you're clicking through things like that. Read, take the time to read, digest, make the decision. Here's an example of an attack. Back in July 2021, Microsoft Security Intelligence reported an attack operation. It used spoofing techniques to disguise the email correspondence addresses of its senders to contain customer names, destination domains. They also displayed names to use legitimate services. This is Microsoft, right, guys? It's MS OS. It's Microsoft OS's operating system. The MS OS, you get something from Microsoft, you're going to think, oh, okay, that should be all right. Ultimately, the emails and the operation used a SharePoint lure, SharePoint's an internal, to lie to the recipients to navigate to a Office 365 phishing page. That's really good. I'm going to have to tell you, that's extremely good what they did on the hacker side. They legitimately pushed that through. And that's how it is. You see how it looks legitimately almost like the 365 logo and all this other stuff. Soon after the U.S. Senate passed the $1 trillion infrastructure bill plan a month later, inking, detected another phishing campaign with malicious actors posing as the U.S. Department, U.S. DOT, the transportation. The attackers invited recipients to expose an offer for a U.S. DOT sponsored plan by clicking an embedded button. The button redirects recipients to a website posing as the DOT that attempted to trick visitors into handing over their credentials. That's the key. You see these two examples, the key is that they're harvesting your credentials. These credentials get into the system. That's the most easiest thing. So these are two specific examples. There's a trillion others, right, out there. This is just one of the things that are captured. And these are high priority, right? Because they're Microsoft, they're the United States Department of Transportation. Imagine day to day. That's what I have to deal with day to day. And it's not a chore, it's a pleasure. And I mean that because I'm able to be one of the people that are in the front lines stopping this, right? I'm the one that I'm holding the line against this. And you think, okay, it sounds a little bit like a hero complex, or no, it's not. You're protecting not only the assets for yourself, overall, the company and yourself, because everything it's tied in, right? Everything you use, there's credentials everywhere. Think of how many passwords you have. That's a lot, right? And there's many applications that store your passwords. Are they validated too? So just think about that. How many websites you touch on a day? How many times you had to put in that password? And if it's pre-populated, that's tricky too. How to detect it? Legitimate information, find the source of truth. What is it? Does it make sense? You can, once you get a lot better as well too, you can decipher code. As you see in malicious and benign code, one of the things that I try to teach students is that as you go in this field, you're going to learn code. One of the things is Python is one of the things. Rust is another one, Java. It sounds very foreign. Believe me, as a procurement guy, I didn't even know anything. I thought Python really was a snake until I got into language, right? And now Python is the building block for artificial intelligence, machine learning, ultimately, or artificial intelligence. Shortened links, fake brand logo, little text. Spearfishing, sorry guys. Spearfishing uses your information to trick you into thinking you have a relationship with the sender. Information that is utilized, full name, position, information. This is like the example before. CEO goes to you directly. Johnny, can you please do this for me? They're targeting you specifically, and they're playing on your sensitivities as well too. It might be intimidation. It might be something that you are aware of, that they've used your behavioral, they've tracked you. So there's something called a UBA, which is a user entity behavioral analytics. Not only do we use it, but on the other side, hackers watch it too, because they see where specific employees are looking at specific target sites, and they will attack that because they know you put the herd. And I hate to use this analogy. You put the herd into that pen. You're gonna make sure you're gonna get all of them in that particular pen, and that's how they do it. Watering hole attacks. Some techniques they use in spearfishing: housing malicious documents on cloud services, compromising tokens. Tokens we will touch upon within the class. Tokens are a way of an encryption for information to be passed. We do that. We use something called an opaque token. Happy to give you information about it later on as well too. Gather out of office notifications, explore social media. People track you on social media. You'll be surprised. People are stalkers. So if you are holding a prominent position in your career in any point in time, they will stalk you on social media. So be careful. Geolocation, everything like that. That's one of the things they will target. Some examples: Microsoft Threat Intelligence Center detected certain attack emails that appear to have originated from the United States Agency for International Development, the USAID. The addresses arrived with an authentic sender email correspondence address that matched the standard constant contact service using voter fraud as a lure. The spearfishing emails tricked the victims into clicking on a link that ultimately redirected them to an infrastructure controlled by Nobelium. This infrastructure then loaded a malicious ISO document onto the victim's machine. That's just one example, right? Several months later, Hacker News reported a spam campaign developed by threat actor APC TAC 36 using attack emails disguised as an official correspondence from Colombian government agencies. Threat actor tricked recipients into opening weaponized PDF files. That's one of the attack methods, right? Or Word documents. Those files contain shortened links, redirected recipients to a web portal hosting the Bitrat remote login Trojan. Extremely well thought out. As a ethical hacker, I look at it and I'm like, wow, these guys are really smart. I didn't think about that. That's the thing. They will outdo you. It's a race, and you have to be able to keep up with that race, right? You got to be better than the next hacker, and you will be. That's what as a certified ethical hacker, your job is to break systems, penetrate and show vulnerabilities ethically. How to detect it: abnormal requests, links to shared drives, password protected documents. Those are dead giveaways. You guys probably have seen it in your personal emails before. CEO fraud and whaling. This is what they call whaling is going after the big target, right? So whales, similar in Las Vegas terminology, when you're a high roller, whales are the ones that are high target, high priority. They go after that particular person, CEOs, COOs, CFOs, whatever it may be. They fish the CEO, wherever the executive is, the information is used against them, and then that's it. Company information is leaked, financial information, and if they're a CTO, Chief Technology Officer, they have access to some certain repositories like source IP, which is the lifeblood of many technology companies. Your source code is how you make money. My last company that I worked for, their telemetry data platform, their source code was stored in a GitHub repo. At Log4j, they got hacked. They almost lost everything. Almost. They were able to recover in time, but it was a 24/7 effort. And I was part of the security operations center at that point in time. And it was a very, if we didn't remediate against it, the company would have been done for sure. Infiltrating the network, follow up with phone call, go after the supply chain. I live in the world of supply chain. I work as a pen tester, but my other role is a vendor partnership manager. So any vendors that come in, I have to vet them 100% within compliance and also penetration testing, and also how they manage our information. So going after their supply chain is the easiest target, because people sign vendors without thinking twice. I need this tool. Let's sign it off. They come in and that's it. You can there's hackers that masquerade as vending companies that can get into your systems. Examples of this attack, back in 2016, InfoSec Security magazine covered Austrian aerospace manufacturer Fax choice to fire its CEO. The organization's oversight committee commented that its choice was based on the idea that the former CEO has seriously violated his duties, in particular related to the fake proxy incident. That incident was said to have a whaling attack in which the malicious actor stole 50 million euros from this organization. That's a lot of money. I would fire him too. It's not funny, but it's really the level. Leadership is at every level, right? But as a cybersecurity expert, you're held to a higher standard. You need to make sure you again, holding that line, making sure that CEOs, they're busy with financials. Security researchers, us, SOC analysts, SOC managers, as you progress in your career, you're going to be the ones that are educating executives, telling them, no, you don't do this. I've had discussions with my CEOs at other tech companies. It's like, I need to teach your team. I've developed training for them so that they teach their people, and I have to teach executives not to do something. or to do something correctly as well too. Second example is the way you have, and it has been well over 3 years later, but once the Lithuanian Ilavadas Rimas received a 5-year prison sentence for stealing 122 million from 2 huge U.S. organizations. Reported by Naked Security in the last month of 2019, Rimas organized whaling attacks in 2013, 2015 against 2 organizations by sending wrong invoices as he posed as a legitimate Taiwanese organization. The sentencing Manhattan court additionally ordered Rimasakis to consummate 2 years of supervised independence, forfeit 49.7 million, and pay 26.5 million in reinstatement. Huge amounts of money, right? This is just the examples that we have. There's many more out there. How to detect it? Abnormal requests, the recipient email. These are, it's simple as it sounds. CEOs or executives are just, they're just going and they're not really paying attention and they're really not deciphering it. Phishing is voicemail. I love the gift. And this type of phishing, the attackers use their voice to convince the person to do something or try to collect. I'm pretty sure everybody's had that IRS call. If you haven't lived life. The IRS call where they're going to send somebody to your house, federal agents, if you don't pay X amount of dollars at this point in time. If somebody's trying to coerce you to buy something or do something on the phone, it's not real. It's just, but the thing is that it's different mindsets for different people, right? They may fall prey to it. Techniques, mumble technique, what the heck are you saying? And they're like, oh, okay. Technical jargon, something above you, like have them break it down. That's what the main thing. ID spoofing as well too. Like this is Johnny Pham, federal agent for the Department of whatever. They'll do it. And some people, unfortunately, will fall for it. That's why it's there. How to detect it, caller number, timing, the requested action. Smishing. This type of phishing occurs when the cyber attack uses misleading text messages to deceive victims. The goal is to convince the person to do something or try to collect data. Same thing. It's bank account. Hey, send it in. Your Bank of America account has been compromised. Click on this particular site, enter your credentials. They steal your credentials. Trigger the download of a malicious app. Never, if it's not verified, please make sure that it's verified before you click on it, right? And does it make sense? Does it come from something that you recognize? Link to data stealing forums. Instruct the user to contact tech support. Some examples. April 2021, malicious actors were using smishing messages disguised as updates from the USPS, FedEx, Amazon. Those messages redirected recipients to a landing page to steal their payment card information. We've all seen it. I'm pretty sure you've all seen it. Click on this link, enter you get, your package is waiting for you, all this other good stuff. It's just so commonplace. But people still fall for it. That's the problem. Several months later, Bank Info Security reported a smishing campaign in which the attackers posed as state labor agencies. The malicious actors used those disguises to lie to recipients to get them to click on links, unemployment benefits, took them to a page, steal their sensitive. When people fill out unemployment forms and everything, there's a lot of sensitive information on there. Social security number, addresses, next of kin, all this other stuff as well too. That's actually another technique, and a really good technique as well too, to capture information. And they not only do they're like,
hey Johnny, I want to try to cut in here.
Yes, sir.
I do want to save time for the Kahoot.
Oh yeah, I'm sorry. Please.
That's all right. No, this is great. This is great. But I also want to I want to make sure we have time for Q&A, and I also want Isaac to do the Kahoot. And I also want to give people an opportunity to ask us questions afterwards. So
yeah, absolutely.
But this is really outstanding. Isaac, is now a good time to break into the Kahoot?
Yes, we can do that real quick. All right, so we are going to be doing now a Kahoot, guys. And this is my favorite part, because a Kahoot is just like a dynamic test where you can answer some of the question, and it's like a competition in between you guys. And in the classes we do this all the time. So I personally, sometimes I hate them because you can be in the first place and then the last question, you can mess that up, man. But yeah, we're gonna be covering that up. There's two ways in which you can join it, and it's through going to the app. You can download it. It's called Kahoot. I'm gonna type it on the chat real quick. Kahoot. So you can download it real quick on your phone if you want to do it through there, or you can also use the web page.
This gives you a real flavor for what you're going to be doing in class and test your skills. You don't feel like you need to know the answers now. You're not going to know some of this stuff, but it's okay.
Yep. This is just a way in which you can interact with each other.
Awesome. Look at that.
All right. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. The timing. Good luck, guys. Just 5 questions, easy questions that Johnny go over with. All right. First one, true or false? Phishing is when a cyber attacker attempts to contact the target via text message in order to legally obtain some benefit. That true or false? Kind of forgot now. There are some keywords in these Kahoots that will get you the right answer. Uh, 5 seconds. And that is false. Oh, wow. We got you guys. But yeah, keyword here, legally, because when you are going through those stuff, remember that's not legal at all. It's to get illegal benefits. So that's the key word. So yeah, congrats to the 3 here. We really got you guys in the first one.
That's good. The 3 that were sharp. Good job. Look at that.
All right.
That's great. You guys are sharp.
Yep. All right, next question. MultiSelect techniques used in Spearfishing. For this question, you have to select 2 and then hit submit. It's gonna be like a green bottom saying submit. You gotta hit it for Kahoot to check the answer. Choose all that can apply. So we're not giving you a limit here. Right. 3 answers. Come on. 5. There it is. What else? There it goes. Most of you got it. Yeah, all of them. All of them are right in this case. And I mean, Johnny already touched on that. So what am I gonna do? He's the legend. So let me move forward.
This guy.
All right. Oh, you see Jay here. You can get him, Chandra. Come on. So next question. Techniques used in deceptive fishing. Okay. Last one was fear. This one is deceptive. But in this case, it's only one answer. So what's that going to be?
This is painful. I would fail this so badly.
Okay. I do it all the time.
Yeah, I'm going to count. This isn't my field, guys. I'm sorry.
That's why you got to learn it, man.
Right.
Yep.
But that's good that you're participating and doing it. That's the first step, man. I told you I didn't know what all these acronyms, the OS and stuff like that. Dude, I didn't know anything. I was a procurement guy. I'd tell you all day about purchase orders, but OS and stuff like that, no.
And I gotta tell you, learning this stuff is helpful because I can't tell you how many emails I delete because I think they're phishing.
Yeah.
And someone says, "Hey, did you get my email? You didn't respond." Oh, okay. Whoops. It's true. So you got to know this stuff.
Yeah.
For sure.
Right. Yes, sir.
It's a great starting point, guys. All right. There it is. Mixed, malicious, and benign code. So next one.
Ooh,
We have 2 J's.
yeah. Jay's coming
Okay.
up. Second.
Let's see it. 2 more. What is not a common characteristics of phishing emails? It's not a characteristic. It's all about the detail, guys. What is that?
Oh, I got this one even. Wow.
You got it?
I know this one.
See? And is regular and transgender. Okay. Yeah, this one was too good to be true, so
It was part
that's
of it.
why. That's why regular and transgender. You got it, Jonathan?
I'm not saying anything.
All right.
Oh.
Leader.
The battle of Jays.
Yeah.
And there's one more question. You see, this is what I like right here. The last question. 5 out of 5. MultiSelect. Common characteristics of phishing emails. Common characteristics of phishing emails. Remember, this one is more than one answer. So you have to select one you think there is and then hit submit. Come on, the last one. And we got a lot here with the discrete. Yeah, your neutral sender and attach files. That's that was in one of the first slides, but yeah. All right, let's look at the scoreboard. Let's see. The third spot belongs to Vito Stallion. All right.
Nice.
The second one, the answer. Hey.
Oh.
So the first one, Jay.
Yay.
There we go.
Yay, congratulations. Then we have the other Jay, Chandra.
All right.
Congratulations, guys.
All right. I hope that everyone enjoyed that who participated, and even those who didn't participate watched, because that's fun. That's what every skill you learn at CyberWarrior is a different skill set. Sometimes there's going to be vulnerability management. Sometimes it's going to be incident response, packet analysis, malware analysis, ethical hacking, security, automation, incident response. It's all going to vary. And sometimes you're going to be really good at one thing. Like Jay just won that. The next time if we were to do a Kahoot on incident response, Jay may pull up the rear because he didn't understand it as much. And that's the beauty of what we do. You guys will rely on each other as much as you rely on yourselves and your instructors, because you'll pick each other up, and that's the fun of it. You'll really work together, maybe create study groups. So that's an example of what we try to do to both teach you and to make sure that you're learning it so you can build your own self-confidence. And so that the instructional team, whether it's Isaac, Johnny, or somebody else, will be able to follow and monitor who's doing well and who's not doing well. Because I promise you, and if they don't, I want to hear about it. I promise you, people are going to say, "Hey, you seem to be struggling on this concept. You want to grab 15 minutes and talk about it," because there's nothing worse than not being able to get to understand something, and you just fall further and further behind, and your self-confidence starts to drop. So that's what this is all about, you guys. Does anybody have any questions?
So I'm trying to determine which field I'm trying to go into with cybersecurity. And what am I gonna have to start from the bottom, like do like 4 years of schooling to like get to the level of a pen tester, or is there like an accelerated program which will bring me up to speed?
When it comes to that, no, I will tell you that. I went through a boot camp. It was a different type of training program, but I went through something as similar to this, and I got 6 months in, and that was it. I started. After the 6 months of training that I had, I went. During that time frame, they were pushing me to do interviews as well, which is what we're going to be doing here as well. If you're a part of my instruction class, that's the thing that I want to give you, that impression that I need to get you in the field, basically. And same thing with Mr. Edwards. So you will get a position. You don't start from the bottom. You might be a SOC analyst, you might be a security researcher, but you will start at a position that is comparable. And that position is for comparability in terms of payment, compensation. I will tell you that there's security researchers, especially in some areas, will pay 100 to 120. I am not lying to you. It really
is this is this a certified, like a certification that you receive at the end of this?
Yes, sir. Yep.
Okay.
100%. Yeah. We teach you, you go through the certification, you get your security plus, whatever, network plus, CEH. As soon as you get in the, like those three, those are really critical, right? Especially if you want to be a pen tester, you have to be CEH. You have to have that ethical hacker one. And it's a nice to have, and it's a target to have on your resume as well too. But my job is to get your CEH, right? Then you can, once you get that, they put you through a junior pen tester program. Then you become your mid-level pen tester, senior pen tester, pen test manager. That's your career path. So yes, you start somewhere, but you don't start 4 years of school plus your cert. Then no, you walk right into it. And I'm not lying to you. I will tell you, I walked right into it. I found my first gig was a US bank as a junior SOC analyst. I was total front lines. And then I got promoted. And then, I got promoted again. And then I did my own thing on pen testing, but with HackerOne. So, but yes.
Hey, Johnny, let me build on that for a second.
Yes, sir.
Dwayne, you asked about, do I need a 4-year degree? You will, and there are some people who get a 4-year degree, and that's wonderful. I'm never gonna berate anyone's choice in terms of career path and how they get there. But the CyberWarrior Academy is over 800 hours of curriculum. 560 of those hours are live via Zoom. That is more hours than you will get in a 4-year computer technology or cybersecurity track in a 4-year college. I'm not. It's just data. It's just, you can do the math. How many hours a week, if you were to take every class in college in cybersecurity, which you wouldn't be allowed to, and then multiply that up, it's not 560 hours. So what we are teaching you in 28 weeks is more than you would get in a 4-year degree program. The other thing is, and I love the question about the different, and the answer that Johnny gave about the different pathways. One of the things you will hear from us all the time is find your passion within cybersecurity. And those passions might derive from stuff you have done before your cybersecurity career. Maybe you are in sales. Well, maybe you're going to become a pre-sales engineer. Maybe you are, you do something where project management is a strength. Well, maybe you're going to do project management. Maybe we have a guy in class right now, and he's going to go into incident response because he was doing incident response on the front lines in Iraq. And he knows the pressure of having somebody yelling at him and having to not do everybody's job himself, but making sure that everyone else is doing their job. That's a good incident response guy. Know your passion and know what you want to do in cybersecurity. What we're going to give you is the foundation for all of those things. It will not prepare you for everything down the road because you're going to have to find that pathway, but it's going to provide you with the foundational stuff. And the last thing I'm going to say, and there are no guarantees in life, obviously. So take salary comments with a grain of salt. because, you know, we've all been through job searches before, and you know, sometimes we get a higher salary than we thought, and sometimes we get a lower salary than we thought. But the junior SOC analyst that Johnny just talked about, these days, depending upon where you live in the country and depending upon the industry that you get into, that job's going to pay you probably somewhere between 65 or 70 and $90,000 to $95,000 a year out of the gate. Out of the gate. Now, again, that's an average. The average starting salary in cyber is 82.5. Again, that's an average. Some people are going to be lower, some people are going to be higher. But that SOC analyst position, which is really the sweet spot of what we train for, so then you can branch off, and there are about 1,000 branches in cybersecurity we branch to. That's your, you know, you're going to, as a SOC analyst, working for I don't care who, it's going to be in the 65-ish, maybe a little higher than that as a low part, and upwards to 90, 95 as a high. Again, don't quote me on it, because I don't want anyone saying, but I only got 62. Well, it might happen. Somebody else might get on. I got 102. I don't know what you were talking about. So whatever that's worth to you, Dwayne. I hope that answers your question.
I had a question.
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
So I wanted to know, like, do you guys suggest starting with a certain programming language to get started, or a certain framework, or like anything like that?
Python. Now there are other languages that will help you, but the foundational language for cybersecurity is Python. Do you need to be a Python expert? No, you do not. We teach Python in the class at some level, but we don't go terribly in depth into it, because you don't need to be an expert in Python. You have to understand Python, because again, it is the foundational language for cybersecurity. There are other things that you will touch on as you proceed down your career path. A growing area in cybersecurity is actually cyber within software. So software developers need cybersecurity professionals assisting them. So if JP Morgan Chase is using whatever the language is, you might have to bone up on that language, because you got to make sure that language is safe from cyber threats. But Python. But again, we'll cover what you need to know in Python. But again, if you want to get ahead of the game, and because there are thousands of sites on the web where you can start learning Python for free. And if you want to start boning up on that, do it. That's great. You'll just be one step ahead of the game.
Yeah, but I believe I met you in I'm on a transition out of the military. I believe I met you before at one of the job fairs. That's why I've been interested, and I've been looking into it more. I'm glad you guys are having this masterclass and this information session.
Oh, cool. Are you a veteran?
Yes.
Were you the last one live I was at was at Fort Bragg?
Yes.
Oh, okay, good. Yeah, that was great.